Our Holy Bible, the most important literary work ever written, has the outward appearance of being one book. In reality, it is made up of many books, written by many men, and it was compiled over a span of many centuries. Today, our revered scriptures are taking on a sense of realness and actuality, such as they never have had before. Just a few short years ago, most of the cities, towns, and villages mentioned in the Bible were known to us only by their names. We read about them and often wondered about them. Now, these almost legendary places are being systematically uncovered. No longer are they merely names. We can see them. We can wander through the ruins of their houses. We can actually touch their ancient stones. Because of these discoveries, the Word of God is becoming more powerful and more distinctive than ever before. This is all due to one of modern man's most exciting and exacting sciences, that of archaeology. Thanks to the amazing work being performed by the archaeologist, we are unearthing and bringing to life the full course of biblical history. Scattered throughout the Bible lands are countless flat-topped mounds known as tells. The word tell is an ancient one and is used to describe an artificial mound covering the ruins of many cities which have long since been destroyed. This mound, or tell, covers the site where once stood the biblical city of Dothan. After the surface of the tell has been explored and the equipment necessary for excavation has been brought in, the staff swings into action. Everyone works, the crew of archaeologists, their assistants, and the native laborers. Each has his job to do. Slowly, carefully, the accumulated debris of endless centuries is cleared away. Photographs are made and measurements are carefully taken. Accurate diagrams are drawn, for every good expedition carries a draftsman. This measurement, 17. Okay? Has he got it? Yes, he has. And so it goes, a well-organized, smoothly functioning team, unraveling the mysteries of ancient Dothan. If the archaeologists are lucky, they'll find some graves. And from objects that have also been buried in the graves, more knowledge about biblical life and customs will be known. On this site was not just one, but many Dothans, with each new town being built upon the ruins of the previous one. As the archaeologist begins his digging, he first comes across the levels of the topmost, or the last inhabited town. Below that, the floor level of an earlier one. Below that, more ruins, more floor levels, one below the other, each the mark of a distinct and separate city, each one older than that above it. Technically, each of these levels is called a stratum, and so this method of excavation is termed stratigraphy. How do the archaeologists know how long ago each of the various cities existed? Surprisingly, the key to this problem lies in one of the simplest and oldest of all the world's handicrafts, pottery. If the archaeologist can recover a sufficient quantity of broken or whole pieces from any particular level, he can actually tell us the age of that city. Fragments of pottery are known as sherds, and literally thousands of them may be uncovered during excavation. Then comes the sorting out process, keeping the better sherds, paying particular attention to those pieces with painted designs and unusual workmanship. Each fragment is carefully classified, noting the style, the technique employed by the potter, the type of clay used, and the location and level in which the sherd was found. Often the shattered fragments of one vessel are found, and these are carefully glued together. This might be likened to assembling a jigsaw puzzle, a very, very old jigsaw puzzle. What you see here is called a sherd board, and on it are fragments of pottery already classified, divided chronologically into the periods to which they belong. It's all very scientific and accurate, with each of the periods being given names, along with the era in which they existed. However, not all the pottery found during excavations is broken. Biblical archaeologists have unearthed hundreds of beautiful specimens that are intact. Sometimes they appear as though they had come off the potter's wheel only yesterday, instead of thousands of years ago. This owlish-looking gentleman is called Jericho John. When he was discovered, one thing was proved conclusively, namely that some 3,600 years ago, a craftsman with a sense of humor was in the pottery business at Jericho. The eyes of this odd little figurine are inset with seashells. It was found in one of the lowest levels at Jericho. This tight-lipped caricature was modeled from clay almost 7,000 years ago. Jericho, where Mr. Shell Eyes and Mr. Jericho John were both discovered, has long been a major target for biblical archaeologists. Excavators have dug down, passing the levels of city after city, until they have uncovered fortifications that were built centuries before Joshua marched around the walls. In fact, through the work of archaeologists, Jericho has been shown to be one of the oldest inhabited sites, not only in the Bible lands, but in all the world. Today, the methods of excavation and the classifying of objects found are vastly superior to those employed by earlier archaeologists. The modern biblical excavator can tell us the history of a town, its cultural relations, the life led by its inhabitants, and the destruction it suffered. Here at the ancient Phoenician seaport town of Byblos, the French have done a remarkable job, carefully peeling off layer after layer of ruins, until the entire history of the site has become visible. In the Bible, the city was known as Gebo, and its men were skilled stone cutters and boat builders. From this tiny port, Phoenician boats ranged the entire Mediterranean, and from here, too, began the first seaborne commerce with Egypt's mighty pharaohs. In later history, the Greeks left their cultural influence, as did the Romans. Thousands of years of history laid bare by the archaeologist. British, French, Germans, Italians, Americans, all have contributed to the excavation of biblical towns and to our greater knowledge of biblical times. What we call Jerash today was known in Bible times as Gerasa. Here, meticulous excavation has revealed the finest Roman city in the Bible lands, and the best preserved one as well. 20 feet of earth was removed in order to excavate this oval-shaped forum and its ring of columns. Gerasa was still under construction during the time of Jesus, and he undoubtedly saw this elegant city. The main thoroughfare leading from the forum once boasted 520 columns, of which 75 still remain. And if you look closely at the paving stones, you can see the ruts left by the passage of countless chariot wheels. In the time of King Solomon, the town of Gibeon was a favorite place of worship, a high place as it was called. Gibeon was also the site of David's victory over the Philistines. Excavations have uncovered a mighty cistern, an incredible piece of work, 37 feet across and 82 feet